Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 12 on DraftKings kicks off tomorrow morning. So I've got 5 players that I project at under 5%. Well, not I project. I look around the industry and check all the different projection systems. These are 5 guys that are sitting on multiple projection systems under 5% this week in tournaments. So we're going to try and look for some leverage to help you win your tournament plays in NFL DFS this weekend, especially if you're playing the larger field tournaments. So thank you guys for being here. Make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving day with your families. I hope that you guys won some money, whether it's in your sports betting, your pick'ems, or in daily fantasy or rainmakers. So let's get to the show. Let's go.
He's a legend.
Make sure that you join our Discord community if you wanted to join the conversation, and especially if you are subscribed on Twitch or a channel member on YouTube. Either one costs $5 a month. Both of them get the same permissions in the VIP channels on Discord. There is an entire walled off section of the Discord just for YouTube channel members / Twitch subscribers. $5 a month. Go to smizzle.tv/join. You can click the join button down below, which is right next to the subscribe button here on YouTube. If it's not there because you're on an Apple system, go to that smizzle.tv/join, and that will get you the membership. Go to smizzle.tv/discord. There's a link right down below in the pinned comment. Just click like on that. Let me know that you see it. Both links will be in there for the Discord and to join the channel. Hopefully you guys will jump in there, and we will see you soon. Number 1 on the list this week, under 5%, mind you. There's a lot of running backs in this, like, let's say 5,000 to 6,000 range that are going to be extremely popular. And so we can leverage off of them at the same price point or a similar price point. You've got guys like Latavius Murray, who's 5K, going to be extremely popular. Samaje Perine's in the mix there in case Joe Mixon is out, which I kind of expect him to be out this weekend with the concussion. Is the fact that Mike White has been named the starter. Now, Mike White, not a great quarterback, but like Zach Wilson's not a friendly quarterback to his running backs. Not really a friendly quarterback to his wide receivers or anybody else in his locker room for that matter. But let's take a look at the games that Mike White started last season and how Michael Carter did in those versus what his splits were in games where White was not the starter. He is the captain check down in the games where Mike White started. Michael Carter averaged 19.15 PPR points per game in those games. He averaged 8.82 fantasy points per game in the games that Mike White did not start. Now you say, well, okay, well, that's just luck. That's just this. No, it's volume. He got 7.75 targets per game in the games that Mike White started, did Michael Carter, as opposed to the 2.9 targets per game that he got in all the other games that he's been on the Jets. So this is another situation where you've got a quarterback change and a quarterback who does not have downfield eyes. This is a quarterback who drops back, feels the pressure, and just plays, where's my running back? He looks around and he just hits the check down every single time because it's there and it's safe and it's easy. 5-6 targets is not out of the realm of possibility here for Michael Carter. You know, we've seen him do well in those situations before. He is a fantastic pass catching back. I could see him having a 5-6 target game here, really kind of expanding his yards, giving him a much higher floor than usual. And if he can wander into the end zone against a team that has given up a lot of touchdowns and yards to opposing running backs, Michael Carter seems extremely sneaky, projecting at 5% right now. So he comes in right at the cusp. Like, he was almost at the point where I can't use him, but like, I feel like I have to mention him. ISIAH PACHECO projecting at 3% right now. And that's because everybody's going to go after the Mahomes stacks, right? Everybody wants to play Mahomes. Everybody wants to go target Kelsey because we can get there because it's so much value. Again, another player in this 5 to 6K range that people are going to ignore. The last 2 weeks, Pacheco has taken over the starting job. Still not playing like 60-70% of the snaps. He's played 26 snaps last week, 35 snaps a week before. But in those limited snaps, he is on the field to work. 16 carries in week 10, 15 carries in week 11. Now, what we don't get out of him is usage in the passing game. So this is going to be a really low floor, potentially high ceiling play in a game where Kansas City is favored by a metric ton, playing at home against the Rams. So if you want to get off of all the people that are going to be playing Patrick Mahomes, and there's going to be a lot of people playing Patrick Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes stacks and Travis Kelce as a solo because you can get to him because of all the value that exists at wide receiver, including the value wide receivers that exist on this Kansas City Chiefs team. In the case that Juju Smith-Schuster does not play and does not clear concussion protocol, guys like Watson, guys like Sky Moore coming off of his best game of his short career, Pacheco's been very good recently and extremely efficient. He passes the eyeball test as well, has had a long run of 28 last week against the Chargers. The Rams defense a lot stiffer than the Chargers defense for sure, but like, this is an offense that is going to be effective. And if it's effective and they play from ahead, Pacheco getting 15 to 20 opportunities this week, even though they're not going to come in the pass game, if he breaks off a long touchdown, more than going to pay off his salary and more than going to pay off his percent in tournaments while you leverage off of the chalk at other spots. You can play the chalk if you want. I'm not saying it's bad. There's always different ways to go, but this is specifically a 5 players under 5 video. So he is the next best running back under there. I think that you can get different at wide receiver more smartly than at running back personally this week and pretty much every week. If you've enjoyed the content, if you won money, if you're just in the giving mood because it's that time of year in the holiday season where we start to think of others more than we think about ourselves, take a couple seconds, go to smizzle.tv/charity and give to No Kid Hungry today. Every donation is 100% tax deductible, and No Kid Hungry gives school breakfast and lunches as well as at-home care to food insecure kids all across the United States of America. Every single dollar helps. So if you have $1, $5, $10, $20, or $100, or if you just took down a major tournament or the Smiz Gang tournament and you won like a few $1,000s, giving a couple $100 to No Kid Hungry is a fantastic way to celebrate. So go to smizzle.tv/charity. When we get to this $50,000 mark below me, I will donate another. It'll trigger another $10,000 match from me. Our goal is to get to 100K by the end of the year. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So please go to smizzle.tv/charity. Be a part of something bigger than yourself. JAYLEN Waddle, once again, under 4%. And it's because of his price tag. He's 7,300. We haven't seen like a monster target day from him the last couple games. And it's a game against Houston where everybody's going to gravitate towards the running game here because as players tend to think, Miami is favored by what, like 13, 14? What do I have them down? I have them as 12, but like I think the line's moved a little bit in their favor. So the prevailing daily fantasy notion is, well, they're just going to be up by a ton and run the ball. And that's going to be it. And they're going to rest the starters and they're going to, okay, so like we're going to go over this again, just like we go over this every time these situations happen. If they're up 30 to nothing at halftime, Miami, okay? And they're in a situation where maybe they play slower and maybe they run the hell out of the ball in the second half and maybe they pull the starters as they get into the fourth quarter because it's not college football. You don't pull the starters and put in the walk-ons at halftime. You have a limited roster. So like they're going to play through the third quarter more often than not. Rarely do starters get benched at halftime because they're winning 50 to nothing. But let's say they're winning. Let's say they've got 35 points. That's 5 touchdowns at halftime. How'd they score them? Were they all on the run? Were they all defensive? Were they all kick returns? Or is it possible that Tua could have 3 or 4 touchdowns on extremely efficient passing against a very overmatched defense, and JAYLEN Waddle could have 1 or 2 and like 90 yards receiving in the first half? Is that possible? It may not be like super highly probable, but it doesn't have to be highly probable when he's projecting at 4% owned. So like avoiding stacks, double stacks, or pass catchers in games where the team is favored by a whole lot, it's bad. It's bad strategy. If you think a team's going to score 30 to 45 real life points, the players on the field are going to carry the ball across the goal line, score those touchdowns. And when they do, you get fantasy points for that. So if nobody's going to play them, that's where I want to find my way onto them to get a little bit more than the field. Brandon AIYUK, he's been very good. He's projecting at 1% again this weekend. 2 touchdowns last week, 6 on the year, 5 in the last 5 games. No less than 13.4 DraftKings points in any of those 5 games. He is getting a serious amount of targets here. Yes, they have added another piece to this already hyper-talented offense with Christian McCaffrey. So the touchdowns could skew one way or another. Touchdowns are already highly variant, but when you have 4 alpha level players, and they do have 4 alpha level players because Brandon AIYUK is that dude. Kittle's an alpha player, McCaffrey's an alpha player, Deebo Samuel's tremendous, and Brandon AIYUK is in that class as well. At least profiles as that as well. Jimmy G has an embarrassment of riches. He can throw it anywhere, but when they get close, they specifically scheme up plays with Brandon AIYUK as the number 1 option around the goal line. That's good for us. Again, as fantasy players, he's 1%. He's 6,400. You're not even paying up to be contrarian in this spot. It's easy to build secondary stack. You want to use him as a one-off and just say, look, I got like 6,500 left. You could plug Brandon Ayuk in that spot to get different from everybody who's going to play a running back in that spot. If you want to couple him with somebody on New Orleans like Alvin Kamara, you can do that. You know, if you want to go with him and a tight end like Juwan Johnson, fine, I get it. All of this stuff makes sense, especially because we know that he has this 20+ point ceiling and he doesn't need more than like 6-7 targets to kind of get us there. So really solid floor, potentially high ceiling for one of the highest yak break tackle guys in the league in Brandon Ayuk, in a very good offense that always projects to score like 25 to 30 real life points. Mike Evans, I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers may be turning the corner, and they get Cleveland this week. Now, I know that you say, well, we're going to attack Cleveland with running backs, and I agree with that, but like there's a running back problem right now. They're kind of getting close to splitting with Rachaad White and Leonard Fournette, like almost 50-50. It may start, pendulum might be swinging towards the rookie side in the second half of the season. He's been a little more efficient than Fournette as long as Tom Brady will allow it. But Mike Evans is the primary target guy. I know he had 6 targets against Seattle, but like 11 against the Rams, 11 against Baltimore, 15 against Carolina. Now he gets Cleveland. This is ridiculous that he is 3% this weekend. Another player who has 2 touchdown upside. I know he hasn't scored but 3 this year, but every time Mike Evans takes the field, he has 2 touchdown upside. And if this Tampa Bay offense starts clicking a little bit better as they start this march towards the playoffs, they're going to hit on the things that work. And right now, with the issues they're having at running back with Leonard Fournette, with the issues they're having on the offensive line, the one steady place that they have had this year has been Mike Evans on the outside catching passes from Tom Brady. If the offensive line can keep Brady upright in this spot, and against Cleveland, that may be a struggle with as good as that Cleveland front four is. The plays that he is upright, he is going to target Mike Evans, and Mike Evans is a fantastic player. So let's head over to fantasylabs.com. I wanted to give you guys another way to kind of attack this here. I'll make this bigger so you can see it. You can go over here to your configure your optimizer settings, go to your rules. We know the position rules that we've set. We know our player correlations you can set. Custom one, play somebody less than 12%. But you can build this if you just say, you know what, I want to have way more of all the players in the 5 under 5, or anybody that you designate as this player is not going to be enough. It doesn't have to be under 5%. It could be under 10%. Expand it to whatever you want. Use at least one of this group. Here's all the 5 under 5 from this week in every single lineup. Apply those settings, build 150 lineups, generate. Go to smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L if you wanted a discounted membership to fantasylabs.com. The 8-month is the best option there because you can get access to the NFL, college football, NBA, MLB when it comes back around, golf, NHL, all of their projections and their lineup builder, as well as premium content for everything. So thank you guys very much for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.